Clark County Republican Party Chairman Jesse Reed Law was arrested for battery domestic violence involving his ex-fiancée. She was granted a temporary protection order, and although the district attorney denied the battery charge, the state has since filed a criminal complaint against Law, charging him with stalking the same woman. In court records, Law is accused of the misdemeanor stalking crime for causing his ex-fiancée to feel terrorized, frightened, intimidated, harassed, or fearful for her immediate safety by placing an electric tracking device on her car and/or telephone. Police records show after she found a tracking app on her cell, she took her car to Jiffy Lube, where an employee was able to locate a tracker. Photos included with the police report show the device Law is accused of hiding under her vehicle.
Dishonesty takes advantage of others. And that's why it's such a big deal in the eyes of God.
The Clark County Republican Party chair, seen here on the Veterans in Politics internet talk show, did not respond to our repeated requests for comment on the stalking charge against him. Steve Sanson, president of Veterans in Politics International, says Law, a frequent guest on his show, holds himself to a certain standard and sometimes
now we know the character of the people who are doing that.
Offers judgment of others. Law was released on his own recognizance on the stalking charge in September and ordered to have no contact with the victim. That order expires next week. The case has been continued for negotiations 3 times and is set to be back before a Las Vegas Justice Court judge on Wednesday. This isn't the only criminal case Jesse Law is involved in. He's also currently facing new criminal charges in the fake elector case, filed last month in Carson City by Nevada Attorney General Aaron Ford. Darcy Spears, 13 Investigates.
Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sanson and Stephanie Phillips with the first episode of Veterans in Politics for 2025. And today we don't have a guest because the 2 guests that we try to get the Nevada State Republican Party Chairman Michael McDonald to come on today, and he's going to be out of town. And we try to get the Clark County Republican Party Chairman Jesse Law, and I think he couldn't clear his schedule to come on. So we did reach out to those 2. Today our show is called Setting the Record Straight with the Nevada Republican Party, and you're going to hear a lot of things regarding the Republican Party. You might scratch your head, you might pick your nose, you might want to sit down, you might want to get a beer, but whatever you do, it's going to be very interesting. And these are all facts. There might be a little bit of opinion in there, and there might be things that we heard. But mostly everything that we're saying is from fact and firsthand knowledge. And I'm going to be here with Stephanie Phillips, and we're going to be going through a bunch of things and just, sit back and enjoy. And let's try to get this Republican Party back on track. Stephanie?
Well, I have a rant first.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. What's your rant?
Well, today, we were down at the courts.
Yes.
And we were doing the court observing. We went into Judge Amy Wilson's court, Judge Crystal Bradford, and Judge Nancy Bernstein. Mm-hmm. And they all did a great job. It was great to see them at work there, but their marshals
suck.
Well,
except for
Nancy Bernstein's
marshal.
Yeah, he was very professional. Crystal Bradford and Amy Wilson's marshals, however, especially Amy's.
Amy,
Really-
you need to get a new marshal
Amy,
because that guy don't even want to be there. It doesn't
he
look like
started out great though.
He
He
doesn't look-
started out nice when we were outside.
Yeah,
But-
outside.
And he said, wait outside. But then when we were able to come in, all of a sudden his demeanor, his tone, his voice, everything changed and he was very condescending. And he's much younger than us, you know, so
and much smaller than me.
he was disrespectful, in my opinion. And he was talking to us as if, you know, we're criminals, it seemed like. But you don't know who's coming in your courtroom. You don't know if they are family of the accused. You don't know if they're witnesses. You don't know if they are court observers. So I would just say that he needs to change his attitude maybe, and Amy needs to talk with him. But great job, Amy. And then Crystal's marshal, he was okay, but
Crystal Marshall tried to kick us out, saying that there was no room. Come back later. When the whole middle section was empty, there was nobody there, saying that's reserved for law enforcement, and there was no law enforcement there.
I want to know who makes that rule, because there's the benches on either side are about this big, and then the benches in the middle are like this, and there's just this huge gap of space that's all empty in the middle.
You know, that reminds me of the new Las Vegas Municipal Court. They have reserved parking for law enforcement, and across the street they have parking for law enforcement as well. But on Thursdays they have two big taco trucks that show up there, but they don't have any parking for handicap.
That's right. I remember you telling me
So
that.
who makes these rules?
So who does that? City.
And you know, there's another rant. Look at the city of Las Vegas. They have a secret judicial committee, and they don't even post any of the. I heard it was 10 applicants. They don't even post. I thought it was 18. Somebody told me it was 18, but
I thought it was
according to
26 at first. Where did we get that
I
number?
don't know. According to HR director, there's 10, and they don't tell you who the applicants are, and it's a big mystery. And you won't know anybody until they forward 3 names to the city council. You know, it's just, and this is an elected seat, folks. But
Well, listening to the city council meeting that we were listening to last night, that was interesting, that they are choosing the people to be on that panel. 3 people from the city, 3
council's going to be
department
on the
head,
panel,
council.
the HR director, and the city attorney.
It was just interesting how they came up with this panel, and they're trying to mimic the Judicial
That's
Selection
not mimicking the
Commission.
judicial selection.
Yeah, theirs
Commission
is
at
total.
all.
There was no ability for the public to come in and weigh in on all
Any of
those
them.
applicants, and they wouldn't even release the names of the applicants because they, you know,
Some of the applicants didn't
HR
even tell
said-
their boss
Yeah, he
that they're
said,
looking at this new position.
yeah, what if they're trying to hide that they're trying to
Get a different
apply
job.
for this?
Yeah. So right away, this corruption just started right from the get-go. I mean, if you're going to be that manipulative and that conniving that you can't even tell your boss that, hey, you're looking at another position, which you might not even get, you know, it's corruption from the very start.
They're just hiding it. And the taxpayers are paying all their salaries,
Absolutely.
all of it. So the public absolutely should be involved in that.
Plus, it's an elected position.
Yeah, right?
So, you know.
So we're here because, you know, everybody talks about the Republican Party, the problems we have. There's people that are unhappy, and people that, you know, fighting and all this stuff, right?
Before we get into it, let me just put full disclaimer about. I have known the party chairman Michael McDonald since 2003, and I love the guy. You know, he's been a friend of mine. I've met him when he was a city council member of Las Vegas. I was there with him. I was there with him when him and Oscar Goodman was fighting in public. I was there with him. I was there with him when they were trying to pull him into the G-Sting operation with all the county commissioners that got locked up, except for one. Bruce Woodbury had nothing to do with it, but Lance Malone, Daria Herrera, Mary Kincaid Chauncey, my favorite Erin Kenny, and you know, including with Michael Galati, with the, I think it was about the not touching. They were trying to put an ordinance that you had to be certain that the in the strip club, the strippers had to be about 10 feet away from you or something like that. They couldn't sit in your lap. You couldn't touch them and all that, which nobody would go after that. Washington, D.C. does that, by the way, but they have totally nude. But, you know, how do I know that?
Yeah, how
Anyways.
do you know that? Tell the folks.
So anyway, so it was a big thing. You know, I supported him with that, too. I thought Michael McDonald was innocent. And I also supported him when the special election, when Moncrief ran against him, that was put up by Stupak, former owner of the Stratosphere, run Moncrief against Michael McDonald's special election. And that's where he lost his seat. Supported him on that. Supported him when he was constable for Laughlin. You know, he went through the whole ringer and roll with that. And supported him when they changed the years from 2 to 4 years. Supported him on that. And, you know, I've heard a lot of, I hear negative stuff about my friend Michael McDonald, and I sometimes I choose to ignore him because some of the things that come up, people would say, you know, where does he get his money from? He doesn't have a 9-to-5 job. And how is he making money off of this Nevada GOP, which is a volunteer position, that means you don't get paid, right? Volunteer, you don't get paid. I mean, that's what volunteer means, right? Mm-hmm. Because some people told me that there's a new volunteer position coming that you get paid, but it's still called volunteer. But I don't know how you put volunteer and get paid in one sentence. I just didn't understand how that works. But I tell people, I said, look, it's nobody's business how Michael McDonald gets his money, as long as he's doing the job of the Republican Party. But one thing that I was frustrated about is that when they have these state elections, that it's never in Clark County. It's
I
always
know,
in these,
and we have all the people down here.
yeah,
Most of the members are here.
Yeah, it's always in Winnemucca, Ely. That last time was Lake Tahoe in the middle of a snowstorm. It's like it's deliberately set so people won't go. And they say you got to bring proxies and you got to do this. And some people, all those proxies are wrong. You can't have that proxy. You can't have 2 proxies. You can't have 3 proxies. There's always some excuse to lessen the vote. How come they don't hold it right here in Clark County for the state party election for chairman, right here in Clark County?
It should be.
It should be right where the majority of the people are, right?
That's right.
Instead of in the middle of the desert somewhere where it's snowstorming.
Well,
Who's
a lot
gonna
of people.
go?
Well, remember when we left Ely, that it started to snow and storm. When we were in Tahoe, it was storming, and I don't know if it was up in
Winnemucca, it was snow. It was cold as hell over there.
No, those are things that can be changed, should be changed, because a lot of people can't travel. They don't have the money or the time, and yeah, most of the members are here.
And you know, there's a lot of people that are frustrated. Michael McDonald has drawn oppositions and criticisms throughout the years, and I have you know, ignored them, and because he's my friend, I have excused them. But you know, he's the longest serving chairman, and then there's Jesse Law. Jesse Law, I've known since 2007. Jesse Law used to be a member of the Libertarian Party back when I first met him. He didn't know anything about the Clark County Republican Party at all. And I was already involved in the Clark County Republican Party going back to the late 90s, early 2000s. And Jesse, I supported Jesse Law tremendously in his journey to become chairman, even with the 2 oppositions of the county party. You know, they were trying to tear the party apart. There was one group over here, they call themselves the Clark County Republican Party, and there's another group over here that's calling themselves, I don't know what they call themselves Republican Party, and they said there was 2 chairmen, and they went through this whole, I think it was, who was that state senator, that elected official that was trying to become?
Carrie Buck?
Carrie Buck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that whole rigmarole, and I supported Jesse the whole way with that. I mean, I've invited both Jesse and Michael McDonald on the show, this show, all the time to come in and talk and connect with the Republican Party. You know, there's some people that have their I'm not going to say ill will, but have a different thought process regarding both Jesse Law and Michael McDonald. And I always try to bring him on the show so they could connect with them and put them at ease. But, you know, let's take a look at this election in 2024 election. And they were pushing Donald Trump a lot. And we all want Donald Trump to be president. That's for damn sure. I mean, I was there holding up a sign, no tax on tips, the whole time. Hold it up. I never sat down. I held that sign up for, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours, who knows, you know. But from start to finish, I had that sign up, and I was a Trumpster before, when everybody was running away from Donald Trump. I was, as soon as he come down that escalator, I was a Donald Trump fan. And there was a lot of Clark County Republican elected officials that ran away from him. Adam Laxalt was one of them. Danny Tarkanian was the other. I mean, there was a lot of people that was running away from Donald Trump, you know. And I caucused for the man. I stuck with him from beginning to end, you know. And there was some people in party leadership today that was not a Trump fan from the beginning. You know, they weren't, but now they are. All of a sudden. But
Because he's going to do great things for this country, and he did when he was in office before.
Absolutely. So, you know, they were pushing Donald Trump this year, which they should. But one thing they weren't pushing was none of the congressional candidates. They weren't pushing none. They pushed the U.S. Senate candidate, Sam Brown, which I told everybody that he was going to lose from the word go, but nobody wants to listen to me. That's why I wore that "I told you so" shirt, because I did tell you so, that Sam Brown didn't have a chance in hell. Nobody listened to me. And here we are with Jackie Rosen for 6 years. Next time you probably want to listen, right? And we haven't won a U.S. Senate seat in the state of Nevada for a Republican ticket since 2012, which was who was the last person? Dean Heller.
Dean Heller.
We haven't won a congressional seat in Southern Nevada, except for Mark Amadeus up north. He doesn't count, although he counts. He's a representative.
You count, Mark.
And I love Mark. Me and Mark Amadeus, we go back years. I love Mark Amadeus. He's an absolutely good guy. He's got a good heart. But that's Northern Nevada. But let's talk about the 3 congressional seats in Southern Nevada. You know, congressional seat 1, 3, and 4. Okay, we haven't won a congressional seat since 2014, and the last time we had a Republican holding a congressional seat was Crescent Hardy. Okay, this election alone, let's talk about our legislative seats, Assembly and State Senate. We haven't had we only gained 1 seat in the Assembly, and we didn't gain any seat in the State Senate. But they put on a victory party that I don't understand. How is that a victory? I mean, Donald Trump would have won the presidency without the state of Nevada.
He would. He would have.
Hands down.
Yeah.
You know, Donald Trump needed congressional candidates. He needed the U.S. Senate race. That's what he needed. And it's like they didn't pay any attention to Drew Johnson. They didn't pay any attention to John Lee. They didn't pay any attention to Mark Robertson. You know, I mean, we needed those congressional seats, and not one. We haven't picked up a congressional seat since 2014.
Well, they didn't have a voice. And let me just say this. This is not personal. This is not personal against Mike, Jesse. This is completely, they happen to be our leaders. And when you are a leader and you're in an elected seat, you're going to take some heat and some criticism. And when people voice their opinions and say, this is how we can improve, they need to listen to everybody, good, bad, indifferent. But there was the congressional candidates didn't get a voice at the Trump rallies.
None of them.
Sam got a voice, but all these other people that they had up there as speakers, I didn't see Drew up there. I didn't see John Lee. I didn't see Mark Robertson. None of them got a voice, but yet they had people like Danica Patrick. I'm sorry, our congressional candidates were more important than anyone that they had up there speaking, obviously besides Donald Trump. But Segal, you could have given your time to one of the candidates, Mike, Jesse, whoever else spoke, you could have given your time to these congressional candidates so they could have had that platform and that time, and that would have been national, a platform for them. And did you see them speak? Any of them? I don't remember
No,
that.
and you know what? I think a lot of people that actually spoke at the Trump rally were just, I think, in my opinion, I think a lot of them were just self-serving.
Yeah,
I think
Kash Patel. Kash
Patel
Patel was not more important than our congressional candidates. I'm sorry. You know, he might be director of FBI and a great guy, and he's he's a Nevadan. But our congressional candidates should have been number one, right alongside Sam for talk time.
I think a lot of people that spoke was looking for an appointment.
Yeah, could
They
be.
they were just trying to get the recognition and try to get an administrative position on the Trump team. They weren't thinking about the whole picture. They weren't thinking about the betterment of the citizens of Nevada or the Republican Party of a whole, because if they were thinking about that, they would have had all these other congressional candidates up there. They would have put some legislative candidates added to the mix and just try to get their name out there, try to promote them a little bit. But none of that was done. I don't think I've seen one legislative candidate up there from the state Senate or the Assembly. Not a one. And it's disheartening because they say that they're Republican Party, but yet they're not inclusive. And then anytime somebody speaks up and say that, this is wrong or give a little constructive criticism, right away, they try to turn you off and they say, you're trying to break up the party.
I know.
You're trying to break up the party. No, moron, we're not. We're trying to unite the party. You're just the asswipe that's not listening to what we're saying because you're just listening to you're beating your own damn drum, you're beating your own damn chest, and you're not listening to what the people are saying.
Well, it's like when I did that video, Mike, I know you're still mad at me about the video. You'll be mad about this, but that's okay. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to say your opinion of how you think things are going. Maybe we could do this to make it better. Maybe we could do that. That's okay to have that discussion. And a lot of times the leadership will shut that down because they don't want to hear that. They just want to keep on rolling with what they're doing. But there is so much animosity. There is so much. I traveled this state more than anyone in my race during that primary season. And I heard from so many people all over the state. And whenever people would say something negative about Michael, which was many, and I was actually shocked that a lot of people up north would have something, and I never brought him up. People would just tell me all their opinions. And I would say, you know what, he is our chairman, and until the end of his term. And if you want to change that, that's up to the people of this state to get involved and to vote. And but it's okay that we have these opinions. It's just like when we went to the Trump rally. You were there with me. This was the one out at the sport park in, I think it was March or so.
I always wonder why
2024.
they always have these little places.
I know.
For,
Well, that's
for Donald
what I
Trump.
said in my video.
Little places. It's
I
like
know.
let's. I mean, he draws thousands and thousands
I
of
know.
people, and they put them in these little places that only draw a couple hundred.
But then you notice at the end, they got him in a couple of times down at the World Market Center and at UNLV. They finally had him in proper venues. So I don't know who was
But
planning
everybody's
that.
pointing a finger because the state GOP says, "Hey, I have nothing to do with it. It's the Trump team."
campaign.
And then
I
the
know,
Trump team goes, "You know what? It's the state."
Yeah.
So nobody wants to take responsibility for their actions or lack of actions, or for their decision turning people away, but they turn people away, but they want to make it look like they're not the ones turning people away.
Well, that's exactly what happened at that Trump rally. You know, we were, among many others, approved to go into the VIP section with wristbands, meet Trump, and this whole thing. And that was approved by, we had to give our information to the Trump campaign, which we did, was not through the state, the GOP. And when we got there, all of a sudden, we weren't given wristbands. And a friend of mine who knows one of the Trump campaign workers, actually the head lady there that was running the Trump campaign for that rally, he said, when he talked to her, she said the state came in and said no wristbands for me, for you. Jim Marchant was also there. Tony Grady was also there. They did not get wristbands. The only two Senate candidates they let up front with wristbands was Gunter and Sam. And they even had names already on their chairs.
Do you know why?
For both of those people, because this was already pre-planned, in my opinion, by the state. So when Michael comes in, you saw, midfield, I confronted him and asked him, and I said, why would you, the Trump campaign is saying the state nixed our wristband. He's like, we didn't do that. We had nothing to do with it. Go talk to the Trump campaign. So the Trump campaign, that day, the organizer was Alita Benson. So she all of a sudden was working for the Trump campaign. So,
who also works for the state party.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
So both. So anyway, they contradict each other. So bottom line, that was to me, because why would the Trump campaign lie? It was Lynn Patton was running the Trump campaign there, and she was in charge of all of this stuff. What is she doesn't even know me. She doesn't know you. Why would she lie and just make up the fact that the state GOP came in and nixed your wristbands? She wouldn't. Why? Why would they? They have much more motivation to keep the rest of us Senate candidates out and just push Gunter and Sam because they're the ones with all the money. But they need to treat every Republican candidate equally and fairly. And to me, and of course I said something and I had a problem with that. And Mike turned away and walked away from me as I was speaking to him and said some expletive as he was walking away. I didn't appreciate that. That was disrespectful. And, I've not said anything. We didn't go over that publicly during the campaign and all of that. But those types of things can't happen. The other thing that was happening outside was there was a sitting Lincoln County commissioner, Varlin Higbee, was out. He drove all the way from Lincoln County with his son to go to this Trump rally, and he was a DeSantis supporter prior to the caucus, as were many Republicans. But once Trump won, of course, all those people,
Everybody wants to jump on
they
that.
jumped in to support Trump. And that's, of course they would, right? And all the Nikki Haley people, those people would jump over to Trump too, most of them. But they would not let Varlin Higbee into that Trump rally. And he called me.
And that's united the
City
party.
County commissioner.
That's called uniting the party. And then what
He
we're
called
doing,
me-
what we're doing right now, we're tearing
this
the
is
party apart.
right.
Yes.
No, these are things that people need to know that happens because you don't see a lot of this stuff. I didn't see a lot of this until I became a candidate. Then I really saw what goes on and how you're treated and how they treat other candidates. Until you're on the inside, you don't really see. But so Varlin called me from the outside. He's like, they won't let me in. And because I supported DeSantis. I think that is the most ridiculous thing. And the other thing too, when Jill Douglas and Johnny Brew were running against Jesse. And this
I
was
supported Jesse.
okay, but regardless, they were down in Trump was here. That was what a couple years ago. Trump was here. He was at that church. Jill stood in line with everyone else. They all stood in line to get in. And when she got to the front of the line, Alita would not let her in. She said, "You're not coming in." So Jill stands out in the parking lot. I remember them. I think they did a Facebook Live at that time. Those types of things cannot happen. You talk about dividing the party, that right there divides the party. And Alita, we all know where your power has come from because Mike has allowed you to act like that. I don't know if it's Mike, Jesse, whoever's giving you orders. You do not treat a Republican Party member such as Jill Douglas, who is your elder. You need to have respect for her. She has done so much more for this party than you could ever even dream of because she has been at this much longer. They're a military family and Jill serves. And for you to do that to her and to no one to admonish you, that is absolutely wrong. You guys have to stop blocking people from coming in when she waited in line with everybody else. Varlin Higbee waited in line with everyone else. And by the way, at that Trump rally, I saw you and Jesse, Alita, with your little clipboard, and you didn't think I could hear you. You were standing right behind me, and you're talking about the people, who's coming in and who's not coming in. So that kind of stuff is so disrespectful, especially to somebody like Jill, who has done so much for this party.
Do you remember the constitutional seat election with the governor? So the party was trying their darnest to get Joe Lombardo to be governor. They were Xing everybody else out. They even had the pre-endorsements that they endorsed Joe Lombardo, and then I stepped in and I would put what's his name, Joey Gilbert on it for people to vote for him, so he'd get pre-endorsed by the party. Remember that? And so everybody was fighting. The state party was fighting to get Joe Lombardo appointed from the get-go. From the get-go, they didn't even give nobody else a chance. And now Joe Lombardo don't like the state party chairman, trying to get rid of him. So it's funny how the state party chairman was so pro Joe Lombardo, and now Joe Lombardo is trying to get rid of the state party chairman. Matter of fact, I even add one more. I was told Red Rock Strategies is the consultant firm that actually runs the state party.
I've heard that too.
You think it's the state party that runs the party? No, it's a consultant firm that runs the state party, and therefore they run all the other counties as well.
Well, it's ironic that the ones that Lombardo supported, endorsed his little, Gang of 12, whatever, his first endorsements that came out are represented by Red Rock.
Yeah.
It's
all about money, I think.
It's
all about
it's
money.
a lot about money. But what I think is that, Lombardo, if you're going to come out and endorse these certain candidates, I mean, we're all Republicans. You're either all in or you're all out. All of these people are Republicans, and you're up for re-election in a couple years.
26.
Yes. So these people all these candidates that didn't feel supported, that felt ousted, they didn't get that governor endorsement. And I heard one of the reasons why he didn't endorse all the Republican candidates was because if they lose their races, then the media is going to have a field day. And, oh, well, the governor's endorsed candidates didn't win, and
So
his
what?
endorsement doesn't mean anything. And it doesn't matter, because when you're in battle, it doesn't matter. You're going to defend your people. And to me, those endorsements should have come out after the primary, and there should have been a lot of support for these candidates. So many candidates called me, and it was really sad to hear they did not feel supported. Not even,
Look what they did to Richard MacArthur.
Oh yeah, I know. And Richard has served for what, 4 terms?
Yeah.
Or so. There's just a lot of inside deals going on. And a lot of it has to do with money, which I don't like to see, because these people go out there as a candidate and they work hard. They give of their time. I know what that's like. You give your time, your money, your life. I took 2 years of my life to do what I did. And that was just to serve the people of Nevada. And then when you have your party forsake you and not support and not even care. So a lot of these candidates felt like, and I think Jill in her race, she could have won her race. They were doing these marketing materials for David Bragg and handing those out and door knocking. What would hurt if they could have put Jill on his marketing materials, because it was all it's in the same area. And there were just so many shortcomings that could have been done a little bit different and with a little bit more money. And they had the money.
I think. I mean, I've been with this party since the late '90s, early 2000s, and I think that they deliberately what's the best word I could think of? Go against Republicans in the party. They deliberately try to oust different Republicans out, and I think that there is an establishment party out there
Well, we talked about that.
that's
Yeah.
made up of Republicans and Democrats, or probably Red Rock Strategies, and decide to put a Republican that they know will win the primary but will lose the general election.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a whole strategy. Like Sam Brown, because come on, everybody knows Sam Brown was going to lose. Come on. They put him in because they wanted him to win the primary to get rid of candidates that, if the candidates made it out of the primary, will actually win the general. And I thought the whole purpose is to win the general election. Isn't that the golden goose?
Mm-hmm.
To win the general election, and then I think that they put different people in the primaries to kind of sway votes away from the person that would actually win the general election. So you kill him in the primary. That way you get rid of him in the primary, and you put somebody in the general that is not going to win the general election. And the Democrats walk away with it all the time.
We all know there is an establishment party. Mm-hmm. We talked about that. In fact, one of the shows that Jesse did in the last
He even admitted
couple
that there's
years,
an establishment party.
He did. And we talked about that because it's very real. And we see it not only here, but you see it in D.C. And it all centers, to me, it seems to all center around money.
Yeah.
And who's going to grease each other's pockets. And we have to do something different.
And you know what? And I, for the life of me, and look here, I'm not a racially motivated individual, to say the least. I'm not. I have so many mixed family members you wouldn't believe. I can't get mad at black people. I can't get mad at white people. I can't get mad at Hispanic people. I can't even get mad at Asian people. I mean, my family is so diverse. With that said, where are all the black people in the Republican Party?
I know you go to a CCRP meeting, and how many do you see?
Where are they?
There's like 5.
I mean, all these years. I mean, I've been with the party since, like I said, late 90s, early 2000s, and I see the same old sorry black people in there. Where are all the colored folks? Do they not want them to come in? Because that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I hand delivered B. Taylor to Michael McDonald. Hand delivered him. 2 years in the making, or a year and a half in the making, you know, hand delivered him. And B. Taylor is an entrepreneur. He's a hip hop mogul. He's a global ambassador for veterans.
He's a veteran.
He's educated.
Yeah.
He's a Navy vet. He's with the hip hop stars. He offered to perform for free and bring his hip hop friends like Flo Rida and
50 Cent,
50 Cent,
Snoop,
and
all these
Snoop
guys.
Dogg. I mean, these are black people that got money that could give to the party. Isn't that what you want? That could give to candidates. That could help candidates out. And they wanted to fly. They said B said he would fly anywhere to perform for Donald Trump. You know, he will fly on his own dime, on his own time. And they did not take the man up on his offer.
Why
They did everything. They just put little breadcrumbs on the ground, but no steak.
They shunned him. They shunned him.
It's unbelievable how they did this, man, who wanted to give his own time, his own money, wanted to invite his friends in. He wasn't trying to take over the party. Is that what you guys got? I think that's what they got in their mind. Oh,
No.
can't let this black person
No.
come in here and take over a party and tell us what to do.
No, he wanted to diversify it, actually, bring in the young black vote, which it would have with the people that he was going to bring in, the things that he wants to do. And he wants to improve. He wants to expand the party. What is wrong with that? There is nothing wrong with that. And until I did that video, he was completely shunned. After the video, Mike started talking to B. They started communicating. He's still,
Why did it have to go that far?
I don't know, but it did. But he still never was brought back to meet Trump. It was always the same old people. The same people that would go back and meet him. And people would walk by B at the big one at UNLV. These people would walk by and say, "You are the only celebrity in this building. Why are you not back with Trump?" And he would just stand there and shake his head and say, "I don't know."
Because everybody that
It was
wants
incredible.
an appointment, we're back there.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning to be somebody with that much reach. And the ironic thing is, Kamala's campaign called him multiple times to have him go perform for them, be involved in their campaign, but yet our own party can't involve him. And he lives here. He's a Nevadan. His father has been a pastor at Victory Baptist Church for 20 years. Shelley Berkeley just visited his church. He said the other day. The Goodmans know him. I mean,
This
he
guy
is
performed-
connected in.
But he also performed for the
place.
Obamas. He
Yeah,
performed for the
Clintons.
Clintons. He performed for the
Bushes.
Bushes. But yet he's not good enough to go.
But
meet
our
Trump.
leadership cannot pull him in and say, "Oh, I don't have anything to do with that." Come on.
Because they cock blocked him. That's what they
Gosh.
did. They cock blocked the man. I don't know why. It's like, well, what's her name? Ford. Daniel Ford on the school board trustee. This is not a dick measuring contest.
Oh, gosh.
You know, it's not, because all the guy's trying to do is trying to help out the party, and he got shunned, and
He did.
it was just terrible the way he was treated. You know,
It was. I have talked to other Black Republicans in our party, and the feeling they were not helped. They feel on the outside. They say, you know, there's a lot of Black folks out there that are Republicans that want to be involved, but they don't feel included. And when you go to our meetings, when you go to the events, you can see the room, and
you
it
know
is
something.
not diverse.
Southern Nevada has Southern Nevada is blue. When you look at the Republicans and the Democrats and the independents, and the independent numbers is surpass the Republican numbers, there's a problem.
They're jumping ship.
They're jumping
don't feel
ship.
supported.
They're not feeling supported. And this is like a job, man. And although everybody might say, well, I do it for free. Well, if you do it for free and you're not doing it right, then why are you still doing it? Well, what's keeping you in the position to do something for free and you're not doing it? That you only win one legislative seat. You don't win any congressional seat. You don't win any U.S. Senate seat. You haven't won a U.S. Senate seat since 2012. You haven't won a congressional seat in Southern Nevada since 2014. What is motivating you to keep doing something for free? And then when you confront the person, I'll do it for free. Well, why are people mad at me? I'm doing it for free. Then what? Why are you still doing it?
Well, why don't we have term limits is what I want to know. Everyone yells about term limits for Congress and, even the Supreme Court. I think they should have term limits. Every elected seat should have term limits. Why are there not term limits?
So
for the 2 terms, get out, start over, they get new people in, and that way you don't have corruption. As easily corruption comes into play when you are in office too long. You become ineffective. It's just not the same. You have to turn over those leadership seats, and that's just the way it works.
But my thinking is, what is motivating you to stay?
Money.
But you say, I'm volunteer. I don't get paid to do this.
Well,
then what is motivating you to stay? Unless there is some type of payment under the cuff, some backroom deal, some Zelle-me, aren't people giving money to the party? Where's the money going?
No, I don't know. I pulled all the C&Es for the Clark County and the state committee. And it's interesting, Gunter gave a $30,000 donation.
Where'd that money go?
In April of 2024, it's on his CNEs, to Nevada Republican Party is how he has it listed on his report. So I went on to Secretary of State and I put in Nevada Republican Party. Well, what comes up is the state. And it says Nevada Republican Party Central Committee. That's what comes up under Secretary of State. So maybe it's reported somewhere else, but it's certainly not reported here. So I don't know where that $30,000 donation went.
Then somebody donated $500,000.
And apparently Guy Nora donated $500,000 to help Trump get elected. That's what, I heard that multiple times. Where I don't know who or where that was given to. I don't know if it was given to the party. Apparently it was the state. Don't know where that is. So help us out, guys. If you know where that was, Guy, if you're listening, where did that money get donated to? I don't know. So, but I would like to know. But the other thing, when I was pulling these C&Es, what's interesting is that you go through, they have to report any donation, $1,000 or more, right? And there's none on here. There's zero. It's empty. There's no donations over $1,000 or even a cumulative by one person up to $1,000. This is Q1, 2024. None to the Clark County Republican Central Committee. There's none for Q2. It's empty, zero. And the only expenses we've got in April, this is to Pacific Dental Services. This is where the office is on Paseo Verde. $10,000 expense in April, $7,500 expense to them in May, and $3,500 to them in June. And then I think their monthly rental must be $3,500, and maybe they were behind in rent. That's why it was $10,000 and $7,500. Maybe, is that right, guys? Because when you look at June, July, August, and September, they're all $3,500 increments. But then you have Nevada Energy that's $893
For what?
for their office. For the month of July, for the month of August, $970. For the month of September, $779. This is all Nevada Power. So the only expenses that are listed here are for...
Well, you know, is a rumor going around that says Jesse Law, the county party chairman, is actually bunking at the county office.
I've heard that as well. I don't know if that's true. In fact, somebody told me the last time he was, apparently this is the second time, but when he was before, one of the Republican members had told me that they drove by in the middle of the night, a couple different nights, and his car was parked outside. So I don't know. I don't know what's...
Maybe we should drive by there and do a welfare check. Knock on the door like we're the po-po. Somebody's going to have to answer.
Is he going to have ice cream for us?
So,
Pizza? You got pizza, Jesse?
Somebody's
You got
going to
pizza?
answer the door. When we start banging on there, then the neighbors, or if there's any neighbors, somebody's going to answer.
No, so I find it interesting, but this also was interesting. When I I was looking for the Gunter donation. So I had pulled the Nevada Republican Party Central Committee. They got $200,000 as a donation.
Oh, yeah? Who gave that?
This is from...
Any sponsors out there? Hey, give that sponsorship to veterans in politics. We could do so much with that.
Yeah.
I mean, our endorsement process is live on Facebook for one. So there's no backroom deals, and we put our money into advertisement. I haven't seen any advertisement about the Republican GOP. Have you? Like, come join the party. How come they don't have a membership drive?
Well, speaking of
I always see
membership,
the same old.
well, speaking of membership, our county party, the membership somewhere is in the 300 something. I think last time it was reported.
300 something. How many Republicans are here in Clark County?
A lot. And there's only
And they
300
only have
something.
300 people.
No, that is really sad. That's another thing that's sad. We need to reach out.
I got 300 litigants for family court.
We need to reach out to the community. We need to bring more people in. But what I think is going on is that if you bring in outside people, they're going to have different thoughts, different opinions, and they may not stay in power.
So they
And
want the
when
control.
they want to,
That's why these things are in Mawapa,
when
Ely.
you want to control keep the control, you have to keep control of that membership, so you know they're going to vote for you. That's the only thing I can think of, because we can do a lot of things and outreach in the community to get people to join. But if you're going to be afraid of losing your seat, which you should be on term limits anyway, so you should have done 2 terms and you should have gone. And it should be constantly rotating so that there is no corruption and that there is no one in power that long.
And I chimed
because-
in to make it from 2 to 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. You just become ineffective, in my opinion, when you are in power that long. Every seat has to have term limits. So anyway, back to the 100,000, or actually 200,000.
200,000.
So on report 3, this is third quarter, in July, Byblos, BYBLOS, LLC, on Plum Street. Are you on Instagram again?
No, I'm on
kidding.
Facebook.
In Reno, gave $100,000 in July, July 19th. They gave another $100,000 on August 20th. And then the Douglas County Republican Central Committee gave them $15,000 in July. That was very nice. Thank you, Douglas County. And when I looked up this Byblos, Byblos. It was some attorney's office in Reno. So, and then I don't see the expenses. Let's see. Pat Cassell, dated the expense $10,000, July 31st. Pat Cassell, September 13th, another $10,000. Nevada Republican Central Committee, $27,000 went to them July 31st, and also August 20th, another $19,728, and then in September 16th, Nevada Republican Central Committee the state got $34,560. All of this is listed. This is what I'm reading from, guys. You can look this up. This is report 3 for the period of July 1st through September 30th. It was due October 15th of 24, and this is under the Nevada Republican Party Central Committee. So, and the monetary expenses in excess of $1,000 are to be listed, as well as donations in excess of $1,000. So, I don't know what all that's for. It doesn't say, but it says Pat Cassell, 2 payments. Nevada Republican Central Committee, the state, got 3 payments. But what I don't see are individual people. They're not giving over $1,000. So any other donations would have been less. I would love to see how many donors there are that are less than 1,000. You know, who's actually donating? Because I've heard from so many people, well, we're not giving to the party anymore because we don't like how it's run, or we don't like so-and-so, or we don't like this or that. But, you know, this is where we all need to sit down and talk. And I believe at the last CCRP meeting when we were having the victory party, and by all means, celebrating Trump victory, awesome. I'm all for that. But I think it would have been responsible for them to do maybe a roundtable type thing and a discussion while all the members, there were a lot of members there. There was a lot of new people there. That place, I haven't seen it that full. You remember how many people were there?
It was free food.
Well, free food. That was great too.
It was the first time free food.
But
then the state party chairman wasn't even there. He was at Fleming's.
He came in. He came in. He did a once around, and then he took off to Fleming's with Stavros. We found you guys. They were having the good food over at Fleming's, but we went over and found them. But the thing is that maybe that night, not only celebrating the Trump victory, but also recognizing that we didn't win. We did not win down ballot. We had some major problems. And I think hearing from the members as leaders, standing up there before your members, okay, guys, what did we do wrong? What did we get right? What can we do better? How can we improve? Let the people talk to you, whether it's good, bad, or in the middle. I don't believe they want to hear the criticism.
You know what they say about the definition of insanity, right? It's doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. And come on, guys, we've been doing the same thing over and over. Come on, the Republican Party, think about it. The Republican Party has not won a U.S. Senate seat since 2012 in the state of Nevada. The Republican Party has not won any congressional seats in Southern Nevada, except for Mark Amadei, any other of the 1, 3, and 4 congressional seats, district seats, since 2014. And we only picked up 1 legislative seat. Is that a victory?
It's really, that is not. I mean, we have to celebrate the victories that we had, right? But we also we can't just ignore down ballot and the deficiencies there. And they want to push this victory so bad that we won Trump, we did this, but ignore the rest of it. And when you are an effective and when you are a good leader, you have to take all the good and all the bad. And you have to listen to your people. You cannot be shoving them out of meetings, out of Trump rallies. You cannot be shunning your membership or your Republicans that want to be a part of this group because they have something critical to say or they have suggestions to make. You cannot be doing that. You talk about dividing the party, that divides the party. But as a good leader, you need to listen to everybody and bring everyone in and say, and you know what? And Michael, this is what, had we sat down and talked about that video, there were, if you noticed on my Facebook when I put that video out, there were some really negative comments on there. But Mike, that would have been a great opportunity for you to get in touch with each one of those people and talk to them and bring them in and say, you know what, I want to hear you. Even though we may disagree, I want to hear you. I want to hear your concerns because that's what a good leader does. And that is...
A good leader wins the heart and soul of the people.
That's how you turn
a
people
good
around.
leader turn an enemy into a friend.
He could have flipped that whole thing actually, and it would have been really great. But it takes time to listen to people. You can't have your own agenda. The agenda is the party. The agenda is the people, and it's the same thing with Clark County. Not only the state, but Clark County. It's when people start to put their own agendas in and they don't see the rest of the people, that doesn't work. That's how you get people just completely upset.
And then when you don't support your Republican candidate in the general election, and you look at them and say, you can't win, like they did Ken Wagner for years.
Oh my goodness. They told so many candidates, you can't win.
They can't
It's
win
terrible.
because you're not helping them.
No, it's terrible. Don't ever say that.
They can't win because you're not helping
terrible.
them. You're not supporting them. You're not trying to put money into their race. You're not putting them on the platform. You're not putting them on different events. You're just not highlighting them. If you're not highlighting them, when I remember John Moore beat Jason Frierson in a Democratic district. John Moore beat Jason Frierson, who's now a federal judge. Or is he a federal judge? He's a federal judge. Now he's a federal judge. He beat Jason Frierson in a Democratic district. So when you tell people that they don't have a chance, it's because you are not helping them out. That's why they don't have a chance.
Well, that's very defeating when somebody is out there, working their tail off. But the other thing too, this campaign sidekick, it's supposed to be free, right, to all the candidates, as far as I know. And when you sign up with this thing, apparently, Alex Watson runs the campaign sidekick, gets you, signed up. I heard from several candidates, he does not return calls, doesn't return emails. My own experience with him, he took him forever to call back, if ever, or email me back, if ever. He is terrible. Alex, you are terrible at follow-up. I'm so sorry to say, but you are. Campaign Sidekick is supposed to be free. That is to help candidates. And I was told mine didn't work. I couldn't pull the thing. And I was talking to a candidate. It was Alan Bigelow, as a matter of fact. And Alan said, well, they're supposed to load a database in there for you. And I said, oh, yeah? And I said, why is that not done automatically? How come when you sign up for it, Alex or whoever behind the scenes, how come they don't load that database just instantly? Why do you have to request it? Alan said you have to request it. I said, why? We're the candidates. We're out here working our butts off. You can't load a database in there to make this thing work. And the other thing, when I was on there, you see all the other candidates and you see the maps and their walk lists, right? That they have. You could click on some of these and it would open, and it was out there public for everyone to see. And I had called Alan because I could see his walk list. And I'm like, Alan, I don't know if you know this, but on Campaign Sidekick, you can actually see yours. And I said, there's a bunch of other candidates you can see too. He said, those are all supposed to be private. So he called Alex and said, lock that down and make mine private, which they're all supposed to be private. But one candidate, the last couple of months, because there was a little disagreement, they pulled his campaign sidekick, and it wasn't free any longer, and he had to pay $3,000 a month for campaign sidekick.
Where was that money going?
And I don't know where that money went, but I did see $3,000 on another candidate's CNE reports. I think it was Gunter, $3,000 for campaign sidekick. So maybe there's another version, but why would you have it for free all the way up until 2 months before the election, and then all of a sudden they're going to charge you $3,000 for campaign sidekick? Campaign sidekick it's really not that great. There's other platforms that are better. So I thought that was kind of astonishing.
Do you remember when you were running for the U.S. Senate race?
Oh, I remember it well.
And we sat down with Mike McDonald and Jesse Law.
Mm-hmm.
And McDonald said that he would get you in front of Trump at Mar-a-Lago.
Yep.
And he also said that there might be a dark horse in that race.
A MAGA candidate.
Yeah, which I don't know who the MAGA candidate
That was Gunter.
is.
That was Gunter.
Because he didn't come out of he didn't even come out of the primary. And I did say it would take a woman to beat a woman, and I wasn't trying to be sexist. I was trying to be real, because I see the agenda that's out there. I mean, you have the transgender agenda, you have the women and boys bathroom agenda, you have women and girls
boys
sport,
in the women's
girls
bath
sports. Yeah. You had all those
abortion
and all that. But nobody wants to listen to me.
Well, it was interesting. You were catching hell.
I called it.
I know you did, actually. But I would travel this state, and I cannot tell you how many people came up to me just out of nowhere, men and women alike. And they said, it's going to take a woman to beat Jackie. And I was like, where have I heard that before? I mean, I heard that so much. It was incredible.
So Michael never brought you in front of Trump.
No, he didn't keep that promise.
No,
he also
that was
promised,
annoying.
There were other candidates that told me he, made promises. One in particular made the same promise, never followed through. The thing is that if you're going to be a leader, and if you're going to be a good one, and you say you're going to do something,
do it.
Do it. Follow up. And doing
don't excuse
things,
it.
And don't say, oh, well, this and that. Oh, you didn't have the money, and blame me. Well, this meeting took place. Hold on. Mm-hmm. This meeting took place that you're talking about. This was when I first jumped in the race, because Mike was my first call. Mm-hmm. When I decided what I was going to do, I called him out of professionalism, courtesy. He's the state party chair. I wanted him to know what I was doing. I called him in December of 2022. Mm-hmm. And I told him, and I said, I want to get together with you, and I want to tell you, what I'm planning to do. First call. By the time we got together, it was like April of 23. And that's that meeting when we sat down and I told him what I was doing. And then he said that that's what he would do. But then later on, when we brought that up to him again, after the fact, after the primary, he said, well, when he went to the Trump campaign, after we met, I didn't have the money. Mm-hmm. I had just filed April 3rd of 23. So if he went to the Trump campaign in April or May, after we met of 23, I hadn't even filed a CNE report yet.
But you don't have the money.
Just got in the race, and they're saying, oh, well, you don't have the money. Well, I hadn't reported anything yet. So
could you imagine if they put their resources behind you, and they could have got you money? I mean, it doesn't matter if a candidate don't have a big bank account. If you put your support behind a candidate and you call up donors and mega donors and you paint a beautiful picture, Donald Trump would say.
Just like what they did for Gunter.
Beautiful picture.
Just like what they
did
did for Gunter.
If you paint a beautiful picture of a candidate, people will pour money into that candidate, and the candidate would have the money to go and run a race. But when you stay silent and you say that candidate don't have no money, is because you really don't want that candidate. You really don't want that candidate to win. And that's the bottom line.
I think that a lot of times they want these candidates that they can control. And when I say they, I'm talking about the establishment, right? And that encompasses a lot of people on both sides. They want controllable candidates that they know, just like, in my opinion, that was Sam. I believe he would have done anything that they said, back
Was a
in
puppet.
DC. To me, he was a puppet. To me, very controllable. Somebody like me is completely the opposite of that. So I am more outspoken, and I will stand up for truth, and I won't deal with this corruption stuff, and I won't stand for that. So when you have a candidate that won't play ball, their kind of ball, that they do, then they don't want those candidates in there.
Didn't the county party just lose their secretary?
They did. Sally, well, secretary and the treasurer,
Both of them.
both quit.
Why is that?
I don't know why. Ladies, you'll have to tell us why. We would love to know. I don't know. But in the interim, apparently Natalie Thomas has taken over this secretary position, which is very concerning to me, because when we went into the last CCRP meeting, your name was nowhere to be found on the member roster. Your name wasn't even there.
That's how they get rid of folks that have constructive criticism. The party cannot handle constructive criticism. They call it tearing the party apart. That's their way of controlling you and putting you in their little box because you are outspoken. If you're outspoken, you are a problem.
Well, when we went over to her with her computer, she's like, I don't understand how this even happened, because I am the only one that handles these members. So, but she not only said that to you, I talked to other people that also had the same problem, and she said the same thing to them. Are you getting comments, questions?
Oh, I'm getting a few comments.
Oh, well.
Oh yeah, there's a few of them. They're talking about transparency, that there's none.
Oh, well. We want to get this up on a screen, guys, and we're planning this to where we can have the Facebook Live and your comments and questions up on this monitor so that you can interact with us and ask a question, make a comment, and then we can kind of talk back to you. So we're going to be working on that too.
So you were talking about the interim secretary, Natalie Thomas.
Yeah. So, one of my favorite people on here.
Who is also a puppet.
Oh, so yeah, so here's the concern, guys. So Natalie is acting secretary, according to my information and what I have been told. And also the secretary handles elections for our county, right? For our county party. So the CCRP meeting was supposed to be the 21st, right? But we have the inauguration, so it was pushed to the 28th. Now it has been pushed again into February, which I've been told that is directly against the bylaws.
Who's the parliamentarian?
Well, the bylaws state that, we have that meeting on the third Tuesday of that month, right? So when that didn't happen, if you can change it, if there's a holiday, if there is an election, you can change that. So they changed it to the 28th. Well, that just got changed again and sent out today. As a matter of fact, here's the email right here from Jesse. Got your email, Jesse. It is now February 4th. So, guys, that meeting is very important. February 4th is really important. Not only is it to vote, because there's supposed to be an election for the secretary position and the treasurer position. I haven't seen an agenda for the meeting coming up, but we should have, according to the bylaws, there should be an election for that seat. So if you want Natalie Thomas to run the elections and be the secretary, don't show up and don't vote. But that is very concerning to me when multiple people, their membership just got magically erased out of a computer system. I don't even know how that happens. But not only are we voting on those secretary and treasurer positions, also the county chair. Jesse's seat is up. When does that happen? July. So this summer. And you have to attend 2 meetings and you have to be a member of the county party if you want to vote. So all these people that say, you can't stand this, you can't stand that, you want someone else in, you want things new, you want change, you have to come to these meetings and you have to sign up. So February 4th, 5:30, it's on a Tuesday, and it's at Stoney's. That's how you change things. You show up and you get involved.
Keep going.
Well, that was all on that subject.
But you know what? Here's the bottom line. If the CCRP was my company, and my company is to get people elected, and me being the head of that company, and I have management to run that company as far as getting people elected. If I don't see people getting elected, I'm going to have to fire some folks. Because I'm in the business of getting people elected, and when I haven't won a U.S. Senate race since 2012, and I haven't won a congressional race in Southern Nevada since 2014, that's a problem.
It is. Well, the other problem too is this, these charges and these things. Jesse got arrested. And all these things that have happened.
That takes away from...
It's not only embarrassing to the party. I mean, this morning we were in Amy Wilson's courtroom. His case, it was a stalking case because the state, apparently, according to Darcy Spears' report last night, the state has initiated this stalking charge, and this particular case this morning was continued. I think they had to do some kind of discovery or something, and they rescheduled it for January 22nd at 8:30. It's in Amy's courtroom. And to me, if I had all these troubles and these criminal, allegations and court hearings and all this stuff, for the betterment of the party, I would have stepped down. Because there's so much drama there. There's so much.
It takes away from doing your free job.
From the job, and let me just say this.
I mean, come on. You know what? If they, when you confront these folks and they say, "Well, I'm doing it for free," then why are you still there?
I don't know.
It just doesn't make any. Why are you still there? Why are you still taking the harassment? Why are you still taking the criticism? If you're doing it for free and you don't like being confronted, then why are you still there? Why not step down?
Step down. Yeah, you can definitely step down. I would, if that were me, I would have stepped down. And everyone, you're innocent until proven guilty. These domestic charges against him for what he was arrested for, way back in the beginning, those were dropped. But this stalking charge was something different, and the state came in, and that was from the report last night. And so that's an ongoing issue there. But the thing is that when you keep on going, and we keep losing, you have more and more people that are upset. I think we need a complete overhaul of our leadership. Every single one. We need new people, fresh people in there, fresh ideas. And we need to do something different because we keep doing the same thing with the same people. And we keep losing. And I think all of them need to go. People are not happy with the Natalie Thomas and the Alita Benson and Alex Watson and all these people that treat Republicans the way they do. Natalie, you say some terrible things online against Republicans. I mean, Steve, you've seen that?
Yeah.
What'd she call you, a rhino?
Yeah,
And
but you know what? I'm
among
tearing the
others-
party apart.
So when you have someone that's working in the party, but
That's
yet,
an excuse, though. When people say you're tearing the party apart,
yeah.
that means they're trying to shut you down, so you cannot exercise your First Amendment right, which the party's supposed to be all about the Constitution, right? I mean, First Amendment right is something that we're just right on Republicans, right? But then you got people in the party that try to shut you up. And the way they try to shut you up, they try to discredit you, they try to isolate you, and they'll try to say that you are tearing the party apart. No fucking asshole, we're not. We're trying to bring the party together. All we're doing is pointing out different bullshit that is happening in the party, and you're so stupid you can't even figure it out for yourself because A, you probably just want it that way. You just want the same old, you don't want to change it. And you're comfortable the way it is, and you don't want to change anything. And then you say for people that come in, that I've been around longer than a lot of you people in the damn party. I can tell you that right now. Okay, so I've seen this party for a very long time, and I know what's going on. But you know what? Sometimes I don't say anything. And now that I am, and you probably go right around and say I'm tearing the party apart. No, it's called constructive criticism, okay? I'm bringing this to your attention so you could change shit around. Change it. I mean, it's not going right. There's hardly any minorities in the damn party. And don't say the one or two black people over there in the corner is a bunch of people in the party. No. There's only, 350 people in the Clark County Republican Party when there's what? I don't know. How many? Several thousand Republicans? I don't know. Was it 300,000 Republicans in the state of Nevada?
330, 350.
330,000 in the state of Nevada. And there's only 300 something people in the Clark County Republican Party. Really? That's something to be proud of. And then you haven't won a freaking U.S. Senate seat since 2012. Although I told you that no man is gonna beat a woman against Jackie Rosen, but nobody wants to freaking listen. Are you listening now? And then you haven't won a doggone congressional seat since 2014, which was Crescent Hardy. And you pat yourself on the back and call it a victory when Donald Trump didn't even need the state of Nevada to win. And everybody that goes up on a damn stage was looking for a freaking appointment. They weren't looking to better the party. They were looking for a freaking appointment. That's what they were looking for. So now you have it, okay?
It was very self-serving. It was on the outside looking in, from a lot of us. And my goodness, I have talked to so many people, as everybody knows. It was very self-serving. You could have given your time to our congressional candidates. It's not about you. It was about our candidates. It's about pushing them. It's not about you. So for that, I would just say, guys, and again, this is not personal. When I see Mike, I hug him. When I see Jesse, I hug him as well. Alita, Natalie, I've always given you guys hugs when I see you, and I have always liked you guys. It's not personal. It's the things that I have seen, how others have been treated, how I was treated, and how you guys run things. And I hear it all the time. We want to unite the party. Jesse, how many times has Jesse said, I want to unite, we're trying to unite? Mike, he says the same thing. That is not how you do it when you treat people like that at rallies and kick people out and only help some but not others, and you treat people differently. It has to be equal. It has to be the same. You have to listen to the people that have complaints. That you're going to get criticized, period. That's just the way it goes. But we're all in a relationship, right? All of us Republicans, we're in a party, we're in a relationship. When you have trouble in your relationship, what do? You sit down, you talk about it. We're talking about the issues. And this isn't just me. I have heard this from the top to the bottom of this state, because I traveled this state and I went thousands and thousands of miles, and I cannot tell you how many people said the same thing to me about the party. And it's like, and it's sad, because we need your ears. We need you guys to hear us, because we're coming here to having to get a divorce, and we need you to hear us. So we need to do something different. We need to repair our party, and we need to put this back together so that we can win. Yeah, we got Trump, but we're not a red state. When I hear that Nevada turned red, come on, guys. We didn't do anything down ballot, but we did get a lot more voters. We did get up the voter registration, I want to say, for the Republican Party, so that was good. But something needs to change, and I think that our entire leadership, everybody needs to turn over, and we need to change in a big way. And I think it would be good for everybody.
And there's all these little falsehoods that are out there. Like if you got a problem with me, don't go to Stephanie Phillips. Come to me. 702-283-8088. That's my phone number. And I love to meet you in person, because I like to look somebody in their eye. Okay. I'm not about this keyboard warrior bullshit. Okay. Just to let you know, don't go to her to come to me, and vice versa. Don't come to me to come to her. If you want to know if she's going to run for Clark County Republican chairman, ask her.
So Jesse called you.
Yes.
And said what?
That he's running for chair, and that it's going to mess up her friendship.
Yeah, that you...
because I'm going to be siding with you.
He was in an awkward position, because somebody who runs a podcast that happens to be very rude and crude, and criticize, and my goodness, the things that I've heard come out of his mouth, and I'm not even going to say his name,
because he's a punk.
I think he's, he went on there, as a matter of fact, and said that I am running for the Clark County chair position. He said that on the podcast. Those words have never come out of my mouth. So I text Jesse, and I said to him, hey, hun, you can call me. My phone's open all the time. If you want to know if I'm running, call me. You can hear the words from my mouth to your ears. And he said thanks, and he never called. People want to call you, but have a message for me. You're not my gatekeeper, nor am I your gatekeeper.
And by the way, we ain't sleeping together. So the next person I hear talk that shit, I'm going to smack you in the fucking mouth, okay? Because I'm not sleeping with her. She's not sleeping with me.
That's a fact.
So she's all this Christian person. She ain't going to sleep with me at all. And I'm not going to sleep with her, because now she's a sister to me, But maybe back when I first met her, who knows?
Oh my God. No, the thing is that it's not only disrespectful to me as a woman when people accuse us of that, it's disrespectful to your wife, who is a friend of mine.
But here's the thing, and I got a phone call today, okay? And this phone call, I'm not going to say too much about it, but I don't know why I got this phone call, because it was concerning Jesse Law's court case. And Dorsey Spears. Okay. Now the Veterans in Politics video YouTube channel, okay, is open to the public. There are 5 videos on there that Jesse came on the Veterans in Politics talk show to talk to us about whatever, him being the chairman with the Republican Party. Anybody could see that. But I'm getting accused for setting this whole story up. But let me tell you my quote that I said. I said, Jesse Law holds himself to a certain standard and sometimes offers judgment of others. What does that say? I'm behind this? Is that what it says? I don't know. But Jesse, pick up the fucking phone, call me yourself.
And
The
call
end.
me too.
The end. You know?
And call me too, Jesse. I offered that. You know, you can call me. We talk, every time we see each other. We've always been friendly. And, and you can hear it now. I am not going to run for your seat. I have never said that. I don't know where, what's his name got that from. I don't know why he said that on his podcast. I am not. I don't have time for that. Because
actually, it's not his seat. It's the county's seat.
Well, it's his seat now.
And the county
is what I'm saying.
Just
it's
made
his
him
seat now.
what you call it? Somebody that oversees the seat until they decided to replace him with somebody else.
Yeah, that is not me. I am not going to run for the county chair seat. There you go, Jesse.
So she's not going to run for the county chair seat. Okay, we're not sleeping together. Okay. You want to talk to her about something something she did, you go right to her. What's your phone number?
702-339-6436. Write it down.
You want to come to me and talk to me about me? I'm at 702-283-8088. You don't talk to me about her and don't talk to her about me. Okay? Simple. If you can't come to me about me, it's worth not saying. Just shut the fuck up about it. Done. I'm getting a little upset.
Someone calling me already?
So, what else do you have?
I think that pretty much that covers it. But I just want to say, again, this is not a personal thing. This is not, to go after or be mean or divide the party or anything. This is people in a relationship that are having issues, and we need to talk about them. And our leaders need to be able to hear our members and hear us. And up until this point, you've not heard, you've not even listened. And there are people all over this state that think the same things. They talk about the same things that we have brought up. And those things need to be addressed. And I just, and after so long, honestly, we need term limits. And I think that should be on the agenda. We need to put that in there. It's no good when you don't have term limits for a seat. End of story.
Yeah, you got to rally behind your candidates, whether you feel they could win or not. Mm-hmm. Because John Moore proved that in a highly Democrat district against incumbent at the time, Jason Frierson, and he beat him. So it's possible if you believe. If you don't believe, then that's your own problem, We haven't won the Republican Party in the state of Nevada haven't won a U.S. Senate seat since 2012. And I keep saying that because it is a big deal. Okay, we haven't won a congressional seat in Southern Nevada, congressional 1, 3, and 4 since 2014. It is a big deal. The last election, we only won half of the constitutional seats, half of them. Imagine that. So that means people are crossing over if that happens. That means Democrats are probably voting for Republicans, and Republicans are probably voting for Democrats. Okay? And if you want to win Democrats over and have them join the Republican Party, you need to open up your membership, man. You can't have this inclusive 300 people when there's...
Not inclusive,
exclusive 300 people when there's over 300,000 Republicans in the state of Nevada, and you only got a small amount of people. And you got to bring in the minorities, folks. You got to bring them in.
B wants to do a roundtable with everybody.
You have to bring them in. If you keep excluding them out, you're going to have the same old. And they're dying off fast. If you look around, there's a lot of older Republicans that you don't see anymore because they're either in bad health or they're in the ground. So we need to bring fresh blood in, people. You need to bring fresh blood in. And I've been with the party since the end of 1999 to the early part of 2000, and I just don't see no color, And I'm not trying to be racially motivated about it, but I'm saying, come on. When people hear the Republican Party, they think of all white men. Really? Is that the image that we're going to keep having? Come on, man. We need to change your image. We need to change that. You gotta go with the times. We're in 2025 right now. Jesus, we got cars driving by themselves. Come on, help me out here. If you're not, look, party leadership. If you're not doing the job and it's a volunteer position, you're not getting paid, what's the incentive that's keeping you as the leadership? What's the incentive? When we talking about our C&E reports, and you got people donating $500,000 here and $30,000 here, and we don't know where the money is. Talk to us. And you got bylaws that are just being tossed to the side. Where's your parliamentarian? Where's your parliamentarian? Bring back, what's his name? Jordan Ross. He was a great parliamentarian. I bet you he wouldn't let this thing happen about making a meeting in February. Come on, guys. And then when people talk up about the party, you call them rhinos, or you call them, or you use all these negative names towards them, or you're saying that they're dividing the party. No, it's called constructive criticism, asshole. That's what it's called. Get used to it, okay? And then you try to exclude people from being here and being there because you don't like them, because they spoke up against you. What? This is not a dick measuring contest, all right? Everybody have a right to say whatever they want to say. I mean, the Republican Party is all about the Constitution, all about the first, all the way to what? How many amendments we have? 18, 24? I forget how many. But the First Amendment talks about freedom of speech and all that, the right to assemble and all that good stuff. And Republicans, you're supposed to be all for the Constitution. But yet when somebody speaks up against you, you start talking shit about them, right? Mm-hmm. What is that? Fucking hypocrite. That's what that is. You got a problem with me? Call me up. Call me up. I'll be at the next Central Committee meeting, whenever that is, February 14th or some shit. I'll be at the next You got a problem with me? Come up to me. Say something. Okay? Talk to me about it. I'm willing to listen. But don't call her about me. All right?
And don't call him about me.
There you go.
Call me.
You got anything else to say?
We covered it.
Folks, I hope that this has been an educational experience for you. This is the first show in 2025 that we're doing. As you can see, we have no special guests here. It's just me and Stephanie. And we're doing this because we care. If we didn't care about the party, we wouldn't give a rat's ass. We just go about doing our own damn thing.
That's right. It's true.
We care. We care. That's why we do what we do. Okay? This is Steve Sanson, Stephanie Phillips, with Veterans in Politics. Until next time, okay? Until next time, do what's right. God bless, and we're out.